You see those plants here? I really like it because at the beginning I put just this one here, and then this one is, you know, made some babies. You know, that's a spider plant, so I guess a lot of you know about it. You know, they make some babies like this and they fall down, and then it makes this kind of cascade of plants. Well, I have a real cascade just nearby. But it's really nice, I like it. And I like the fern as well. Because when I put them, they were all dry. You see, like this one, they look dead, but it's not dead, because if you look here, see this? This is a leaf that is coming. So it seems dead. They seem completely dead, but maybe some of them are dead, but most of them, some of them at least, will grow back. And fern on the stonework, they look just amazing. So it's really something that I want to keep alive. Also, when I look at the pond here, I can see some type of watercress here, you see? It is coming out, which is good, which is very good. This one is turmeric. This is turmeric. Later on I will make a video about the spaces that we can see in the pond. Here, for instance, I have a snail. This one is a snail. But that one here, on the end of my finger, I don't know if you can see, but it's moving. And yeah, there is plenty of life around. So imagine when you have baby fish, they are super happy to move around and to try to find some food in this, and they find a lot of food. It's not like a classic pond or a classic fish tank where it's square and the fish, even if they have babies, even if they breed, the baby will not find some place to hide and no place to find food, while here it's a real ecosystem, so you got everything. So if the fish breed, then they're able to find food around. You see the plants, the little shoots there? 2 shoots, 1 and 2. I like to see those type of things, you know. I like to see nature doing its work by itself. I don't really need to control everything. I like to just create a good environment and leave nature do the job. And you see, this is a papyrus shoot coming. So it's quite nice. See, then it's going to look like this. Okay, let's feed our trout now. And if you remember last time, I made a video, I took the pH. pH was around 6.6, I guess. And today it's time to probably try to increase this pH. So we have the waterfall that is on, as you can see there, where the watercress is growing. You see the watercress is really falling the waterfall. And shortly we will not see the waterfall anymore, but I can harvest always the watercress to try to clear the waterfall, so it's not an issue. So let's feed our trout, our fish. So as I was saying in a previous video, I sold 50 trout. which was a lot of fish, 10 kilos or 12 kilos of fish. I still have plenty. And now they feel much better. And I decreased the biomass of fish, so I can now feed them a bit more, which is good. So you know when you run an aquaponics system, you got a choice of different species of fish. And if you watch my videos, you will see that I talk a lot about mainly two species. Because I am in Australia, I am talking about silver perch. And silver perch is a native fish in Australia. And I got some silver perch in this pond as well. The thing is, they are easy fish to grow when you begin. So they are very hardy, and also they accept vegetarian food, so you can feed them with green when they are big. The problem with silver perch is that in winter they don't like cold water. So if they are in a pond like this, that's fine. They will stay on the bottom and they will wait for summer, but they are not growing. You don't see any on the surface, of course. First, they are very shy fish, and secondly, they don't eat in winter. So a lot of people would try to keep silver perch in out of ground, off-ground tanks. The silver perch don't have any place to hide, and they are very sensitive to the vibration when people come around the pond. So fish are scared, and they may stress. They stress actually. And because it's winter and they don't eat, it's very hard for them to go through this period and survive through winter. So a lot of people are growing silver perch, but they lose them during winter because water become cold, and the people don't understand, but they stress the fish all year round. So there are some tricks and techniques that I give in my trainings to try to maintain the fish in better conditions and make them survive during winter, which is not hard. But what I'm trying to say is that silver perch is a sensitive fish during winter. But aside from winter, during the year, they grow really well. They are very hardy. So for any beginner, it's not an issue. They survive, and they are easier to keep alive than other species of fish. However, the problem of silver perch for me is that the growth, the time for the fish to grow to plate size is very long. So the growth is slow. A silver perch grown in Melbourne area, which is an area that is but that is quite cold in winter. You see here now, I'm guessing it's early morning in winter, and I guess we are around 3 to 4 degrees Celsius in the air. So the water is not at this temperature, of course, right? But those type of fish, silver perch, at this temperature, they are not active at all. They lay on the bottom of the pond. Normally in the river, that's what they do. In the dam, they just go on the bottom and they wait for the better temperature to come back. So they are not active, they don't eat any food, and therefore they don't grow at all. Which means that if you want to grow a fish from fingerlings is like a fish that is very small, generally less than 5 centimeters long. If you are trying to grow silver perch from fingerlings to plate size, it will take you years. And when I say years, it's probably 4 years. So it's a lot of time to grow a fish. So when people begin in aquaponics, they don't mind that the fish take a time to grow because they want to learn about aquaponics. And what they really focus on is on fish that survive any mistakes they may make. And silver perch is doing this well. The only issue is, of course, winter. So you need to keep this in mind. Silver perch, they are native fish, but they don't really like winter in Melbourne. So if you keep them, just make sure you don't stress them. And there are a few techniques to improve this. But one of the other options is to grow trout, right? Trouts are fish that can grow extremely fast. They grow to plate size. They reach plate size in 9 months. So it's very quick. And if you get them from fingerlings, it's gonna take you just few months, maybe 6 months to reach plate size, from the moment you receive the fish to the moment you harvest. So for me, that's a very, very, very interesting fish, and that's why you see it in my ponds and in my videos. And actually, in this pond, as I explained before, I have 5 species of fish, but you mainly see the trout, the golden trout. And the reason why is because, of course, the colors, but also because they are very active fish. So when I feed my fish, when I use this fish food and I throw the fish food, the fish that you see on the video is a golden trout. So that's why it's a very interesting fish, because if you begin aquaponics, you probably want a fish that is very, how to say, that you can enjoy seeing, and you don't want to have to guess what's happening in the pond. Do you still have fish or not? With silver perch, it's very much the case. With silver perch, you never really know if the fish are still active, if they are still alive. If you have a pond like mine, where the bottom is dark and there are places for the fish to hide, or if the pond is very deep like mine, it's quite hard. You have no idea if the fish are still alive or not if you don't see them eating, right? So with trout, we have this advantage. They are not that shy, and they are very active. So we can control, we can see the fish, and it's quite cool. It's cool because we like to see the fish, we like to show them to our friends and everything, but it's cool also because you can see where you are going, you can see how many fish you have. If you need to fish them as well, it's quite easy. You throw a bit of food and you can catch them. While silver perch, it can become a real nightmare to catch them in a pond. So, you got a lot of advantages to grow trout. And, I worked in trout farms for years in my life, and there is a reason why trout have been selected to be grown in farms, right? If you go in the cold countries, like in Europe or south of Australia, or a lot of area, even in some French islands, we grow trout because they grow super fast. And one of the interesting facts is that you see this fish food I am using here is allowing us to produce more fish than we consume fish food. I explained it in a previous video, so I'm not going to repeat myself. And I always repeat myself in those videos anyway, but you are able to produce with only 900 grams of this fish food, you are able to produce 1 kilo of fish, which is really cool. So that for those reasons, efficiency, ease of growth, ease of handling the fish, and also the pleasure of seeing your fish, I really like trout. Now, of course, in Australia, we have some challenges, like in other countries. I will talk about this in a future video. But trout are an amazing fish to grow, but there are some things you need to keep in mind when you try to grow them. Okay, now let's try to increase this pH again. So as we did in the video previously, we already added some carbonate sodium, so bicarb soda. You see this? We added some in a previous video, and then we checked the pH, and the pH is still a bit lower than we would like. So we add a bit more of this powder, and it can sometimes take a lot of powder, but you need to be careful when you add the powder, not to add too much at once. So it's better to do it in several times, slowly, and you don't want to shock your fish. And you see what I did here? I just fed my fish and then I add some powder. So when you feed your fish, I explained it already several times, but it's very important to understand. When you feed your fish, you don't want to stress them after, yeah? So if I add too much of this powder, I may have a pH shock. I may increase the pH too quickly. And you don't want to do that. You want to go slowly. That's why I add slowly by slowly, because especially after feeding, you can't have any shock on the fish. When they are just fed, they can't really handle the stress very well. You see the waterfall is going on, and now you can see the dilution here. I really like to work with waterfalls for this. But anyway, if you don't have a waterfall in your aquaponics system, you just put it in the bell siphon and it's going to do exactly the same thing. It's just that here I can see it visually, you know. So again, this is helping to not make a big shock. But yeah, it doesn't make a big difference actually. You can see it decreasing. It's quite quite cool to see actually. It's kind of melting in front of us. Okay, it's almost gone. So you see when I was talking about the ferns, you can see one here, a few actually. You see this one? How it came alive? It's really nice now, it looks really nice. This one is coming back as well. You see the leaf here? And this one as well is making some leaves. But when you look at it, you would think it's completely dead, but you see the leaves are coming back. So, and I have some here as well. I hope they will come back, I'm not sure, but a lot of them are coming back to life, so which is exactly what I want. So I'm quite happy with this. Ah, you see the cascade there is on. You can probably see it there. It's nice. Yeah, so I am working on the trout training, a training 100% about trout. It's gonna be a training for all those of you who have started aquaponics and have grown a few fish, but now would like to go to a species of fish that is way more productive. Trout are really good for this. So now we will try to introduce back one of those chooks with the new ones, and it may be tricky, they may fight. It's completely possible that they fight, right? But at one point I need to let them live together, so let's see what happens. I'm surprised they are not fighting yet, which is very good. Very good, but how long is it gonna last for? No, it doesn't seem too bad. I will probably add the other chicken if it works. Okay. Sometimes when you turn your back, that's when they fight. So I have to be careful and reactive. So let's come and take this one. This one is called Termy. Don't ask me why. That's my partner. My partner thought it was a good name for her. Okay. Okay, here she is. So now it may be a bit more tricky, but hopefully it will work. This is the white one, is the eldest one. She has been with us for years. I don't even know if she's still laying actually. It's possible that she doesn't lay anymore, but we really like her. You see, she's trying to pick a fight there. See, she's running after the other chicken. Should be okay for now. We'll see what happens in the day. I will let you know. But there are some possibilities that I insulate them again. I think one of them is laying at the moment, because I can't see her. And she's probably in the coop laying, and I can see an egg there. You can see it inside? Yeah, here. You see the white one, Terme, is trying to fight the others. So she's running after them. And you see how she does? She tries to push them in a corner to attack them in the head. She can't attack the back because it's all feathered. So she's trying to present herself in front of them to try to fight their head. But this one, you see, is smart. She knows that she is not in a good situation, so she just jumped there. Because she doesn't like fighting this one. That's good, you are smart. Good on you. Tell me. You see the other one is coming out, that means she just laid. So there are 2 eggs to pick, and that's perfect because it will be my breakfast. You see, it's winter, so the chicken don't lay much in winter. I still have they produce probably 3 eggs per day in average out of the 5 of them. But in summer they would produce way more. Actually, she laid just here. See, there are 2 eggs now here. They are quite small actually. I'm thinking they are from the new chicken. Tell me. You see, she's still jumping behind. I think they will fight once at least, because Terme is not stopping. Yeah, this one is going in, she's laying now. She won't lay. So in my next videos I will explain you a few points that are tricky about trout. I mean, we'll try to talk about it. Because in this video I explained you why trout were such a good fish. And next time I will maybe talk a bit more about the limitation we have. If you want to be part of the Aquaponics Revolution community and be informed of what's happening, of the trainings, of everything that you need to know to succeed in aquaponics, well, you will find a link in the description. This link will give you access to some information that are very handy to start aquaponics, but it will also include you in the loop, and you will receive my emails with a bit more information. So I see you on the other side. Bye bye.